Hey guys, so much interesting video on Wild Rift. So we're back with a Twitch commentary guide, and today we're going to be taking a look at Twitch Jungle. And this is a pretty amazing Twitch Jungle game where we pretty much just end up hard carrying our team, as you guys will see later. But anyways, as usual in the jungle, we do the normal jungle trick of putting a ward, and in this case I'm actually swapping to the normal trinket instead of swapping to sweeper, because I think sweeper on Twitch doesn't really make sense because you're invis anyway, so wards are not gonna see you unless they're control wards, in which case you don't really need to sweep them anyway. You can simply just destroy them. So anyways, we're gonna get straight into meat of it. Well, first things first, small disclaimer is that this is a ranked match, by the way, but this is the first time I'm playing Twitch Jungle, so you will see some things, especially in the first 5 minutes of the game, that don't quite make sense, but here is something that does make sense. So Twitch Jungle, generally you want to go and gank mid after you do red buff, but of course Ari is right under her tower, so there is no real way of doing that. So here I'm just going to head back over to the jungle. Now here you can actually press E to spread your poison to all of the minions, but I thought that it only worked on champions, but turns out it works on monsters as well, so this definitely speeds up his jungle clear pretty significantly. I've chosen to take E at level 1, and then I'm taking Q at level 2, of course for the level 2 gank purposes, and then I'll take W at level 3. And I do think that this is probably the order that you should be taking it, because it seems to make the most sense. E to spread the poison, like you guys can see here, seems to be pretty logical. But anyways, here pretty much just clearing through the inner section of our jungle. Here you can see Vi is on the skull, and I do know that, so Twitch is really weak in the early stages of the game. So here I'm trying to drag my buff into the bush so that you know, Vi doesn't really see me doing it. However, I'm still kiting around a little bit, and just in case she comes, she does end up coming here, ends up queuing the buff only. Here I'm focusing Vi instead of the buff, of course. So here again I'm just shooting Vi, trying to kite her out, and she's also tanking the buff at the same time. I do manage to smite the buff, and here she goes over the wall. I flash over and follow to pick up the kill on her with the first blood. Next, because the the Urgot is pretty extended, I can actually go straight in for a gank, but obviously he knows that I'm coming. But the main point of that gank was of course to blow his summoner spells. In this case, he did flash away, so if we are able to, we can always gank him again and he won't have flash, or Darius can obviously take advantage of the fact he doesn't have flash. So overall, that was a good gank. Something interesting to note here is that Vi kind of messed up big time. I think that the invade from Vi could have gotten a lot better. She didn't actually have smite because she smited the skull, so she shouldn't be focusing the buff at all. She should be focusing me, but at the last moment she tried to go for the buff instead of just going for me. She queued the buff instead of me. I think she should have queued me instead of the buff, and that would have given her a chance to kill me. But anyways, thanks to that invade, she's given me first blood, and that of course is wonderful. So anyways, we're gonna go back to farming the jungle, and here we see Vi going in for a gank in the bottom lane. Here I can stealth into the lane, not spotted until I walk straight into Caitlyn's trap, so obviously that will make me spotted, but anyways, not too big of a deal, no play to be made anyways. We're just gonna go back into the jungle and continue farming. So here we're just gonna kite the cams when, of course, as your Twitch, you are a ranged champion and you do not do AoE damage to jungle camps, unlike all of the melee champions. So the way you make up for that is by your healthier jungle clear. You're just gonna kite the camps and try your best to minimize the damage you take from the camps. Anyways, on another small side note, kind of lost my train of thought there, but never mind. Let's just continue clearing, and it'll come back to me a little bit later on. But anyways, here we see the skull is up, so we are going to go for the skull. Of course, we do have our trinket ward in the inventory, so what we can do is we can just put the trinket ward over here to just check when Vi is coming. Generally, as Twitch, you don't really want to fight the enemy jungler no matter who they are. Here we know from Nami that this bush is warded, but we can just stealth into the lane. You guys can see here, they don't even know we're here, so they overcommit to a fight. I'm able to spray and pray and pick up the kill onto the Lux, which is basically what Twitch does here. So basically, you guys can see I stealth from out of the ward's range, walk straight past that ward into the lane. They don't know I'm there, and I just kill them. And then the team manages to get a follow-up kill onto Caitlyn as well. Here I see Twisted Fate going in on the Ahri. I know that Twisted Fate cannot 1v1 in Ahri, so here I'm stealthing in. Again, Ahri is pretty much caught by surprise, and I'm able to pick up a kill on Ahri as well. And this is basically how Twitch jungle is meant to be played. You stealth into a lane, and then you go for the kill, and then you just go up. Now I remember what I was going to say back then, like about a few minutes ago, which is basically that Twitch jungle wants to avoid fights that he doesn't start. So basically you guys can see here that the fight that I took in the bot lane was one that I wanted because I stealthed in, and same goes for the mid lane. But if I run into Vi randomly, like at the Scuttle Crab, I just want to give the Scuttle and just run away. I don't really want to fight her at all. So anyways, here I'm putting down the Herald to get the plates in the middle lane, like so. This will of course accelerate me a lot more. However, I do get caught by Vi, ulted and queued by her, and I do end up dying to her eventually, which is kind of sad. But at the end of the day, we do already have 3 kills, and we did also get all the platings from the tower, almost all. And here you can see we're at 5k gold. Twisted Fate's also pretty fat, he's also at 5k gold, but the entire enemy team, no one is really there yet. Caitlyn's kind of close. Here the dragon fight sort of starts breaking out. Twisted Fate goes in onto Vi. Vi is put pretty low and she's tanking the dragon. Here Caitlyn helps to tank not Caitlyn helps to tank. Someone helps to tank the Caitlyn ultimate. So here I'm stealthing in again, and here you can see that they don't see me coming. So again, I'm going to pick up the kill onto the Ahri, and I'm going to chase down the enemy Caitlyn. I do get exhausted, but I'm just going to continue attacking through the exhaust, and we do end up finishing the kill onto the Caitlyn. So now a crucial thing to note here is I did use my smite for me to be able to catch up. So I don't have smite for this dragon. So here I'm sort of waiting for my smite cooldown to come up. It's coming up in about 5 seconds time or so, if you guys can see here, but it's about 2 seconds away and Vi comes in. So here I'm waiting for her to smite. There you go. So you guys notice here the really important part. We're gonna pick up the kill on Vi, but the really important part of what happened here is when I saw Vi and I didn't have smite, I'm not focusing the dragon. So if I auto-attacked that dragon once, she queued in and smite, I would have lost that dragon. But the fact that I stopped attacking the dragon made her underestimate how much damage the dragon would take, because I'm not attacking it anymore. So after she Q smited, the dragon had 22 health left, and I was able to secure the dragon with either my auto attack or my smite that just came up. But either way, I was able to secure the dragon. Of course, this is not going to work 10 out of 10 times. This is sort of just a play that you should be doing just because it's more likely to work than not, because enemy jungle is going to underestimate the damage the dragon takes, or rather overestimate the amount of damage the dragon takes, and therefore smite early, which is what happened. But here you can see that I'm on the rotation. Here I mess up big time because I accidentally press E instead of W, and I end up basically running out of damage. I tried to flash behind the Nami, but I end up just dying right there. So kind of a huge fat finger by me. What I meant to do was of course press W and then blast them and then E. That would have been basically a free double kill for me, but instead what I end up doing is fat fingering my E, and I don't have my E to burst them when they're at full stacks, and then I just basically just end up dying, which is just really unfortunate of a situation overall. But hey, you know, mistakes do happen, and yeah, not too much I can say other than that. So didn't really mention this at the beginning of the video, but the build on Twitch jungle is pretty much the same. Like you don't really need anything different from Twitch jungle. If you so choose, you can change your rune setup. You still go for lethal tempo, but I've seen a lot of people playing Twitch jungle. They like to take sudden impact as their first rune, because when you come out of invisibility, you do gain extra lethality, and that can be very useful when you're playing Twitch jungle because it can help your ganks. Speaking of ganks, here we're coming in to try to help out, but nothing too much is happening, and if nothing is happening, no point to reveal yourself. And yeah, so Ahri still has 3 charges of ultimate. I toss the W behind her to try to cut her off, and I end up taking a lot of damage from my troubles, but with the Darius hook we are able to finish off the Ahri, no problem. And back to talking about the rune. So the other rune change you can make if you like is, instead of taking like Hunter Genius or Nimbus Cloak as your last rune, you can instead actually go for Pathfinder just to roam around the river faster, which is going to be pretty useful for you. Anyways, here we were focusing the Herald, but the enemy team's coming in for the fight, so we're going to change targets to instead focus the enemy team. Twisted Fate picks up the kill onto the Vi, so without the Vi around we can focus the Herald and just pick up the Herald. and then our team is kind of losing the fight overall. So me and Twisted Fate are kind of just on the fringe of the fight, just trying to back away from the fight. Lux binding nearly hits, but thankfully we do end up getting out of range in time. And here I thought Lux might be recalling in this bush, so here I'm just stealthing over to the bush to check it out. It turns out she's not in that bush at all. She must have gone to the tri-bush to back, or like further back into her jungle. Anyways, instead we're just going to pick up the farm here, and then we can recall using the Herald Recall. We're going to pick up built towards Runa's Hurricane. Now in this case I'm not going for my boots upgrade since I'm so far ahead. I think just completing my Runa's Hurricane and getting to the 3 item power spike is a little bit more important than getting boots at this point in time. But anyways, here I'm just going to quickly pick up this red buff, and then we can move on to farming the rest of the jungle, that being the Krugs. And yeah, so obviously like any other jungler, or even like any other ADC, in the downtime you obviously just want to farm up, which is exactly what I'm doing. Here I see a play to be made in mid lane where we have Ahri really overextended together with, I can't see who that is, but the two of them are really overextended. She ends up going into our jungle and veering towards the other side with the rest of the team. And here sort of they're kind of caught here because Darius is cutting them off on the other side. However, the play kind of goes bad because everybody goes in on Darius to focus him, and here I'm trying to go in for the play, and we do end up picking up the kills eventually, and it does end up working out. But for a second there, it kind of looked like it was gonna go bad because Darius is kind of getting caught out on his own. So here, Samira and Darius are both really low. Here I end up in a 1v1 versus Caitlyn, but you know, Caitlyn is really fat as well. She's 7-2 and 4, I'm 7-2 and 5, and we're pretty much at the same KDA, and she's at 3 items, whereas I am only now that I've backed at 3 items. So I can't really take a fight with her, and instead I'm just going to back, get my items, and then we can see what we can do about her. Now Caitlyn is obviously the main carry of the team. If you take a look at the KDAs and the items of the enemy team, it's obvious that Caitlyn is the main issue. Here I'm using my stealth to get in range of her. I'm smiting her to slow, but I end up smiting the minion by accident. Anyways, we managed to burst her down and get the shutdown onto the Caitlyn, which is of course crucial. Now that the dragon fight is here, Ahri comes in. I'm really low, so I'm running away. Ahri tries to flash forward to kill me, but that's a huge mistake because that puts her in range for me to just auto E to finish off the kill. I can go down over here to pick up the Sweet Tooth and gain back the health such that I'm at, you know, at least a level of health that I can actually fight with my team. So here I'm kind of just waiting for like Darius to walk forward to get us a little bit of vision. Here I'm just blasting whoever I can. Vi is stacking up. I get the kill onto the Lux in the background though. I get the reset, and from that we're able to kill the Vi, and then we're able to secure the dragon as well. So far objective fights in general have been going really well. And after the dragon, I'm just going to rotate down to the bot lane and just pick up the farm. And yeah, as you can see, it is going pretty solid for us in particular so far. But if you take a look at the rest of my team, I can't really say the same. We have Nami, who's of course support, so her KDA isn't too important. She is helping us quite a bit. But we have 2, 6, and 7 Samira, not really doing the best in the world. Also only at 2 items when I'm almost completing my 4th item already. Twisted Fate is actually doing alright. KDA not the best, but in terms of like itemization and just helping the team in general, he is a very utility based champion. He's doing alright, and Darius is doing alright as well, although he did just die. so it's obvious that we are the main carry of the team, so we have to play safe and we can't do anything too reckless, because if we die, our team is going to be in very bad shape without our damage. So here Twisted Fate gets ulted by Urgot and he goes down. Not too much I can do to help him. What I can do now is just, while my teammates are dead, I'm just gonna farm up the jungle and try to get to my last item as quickly as possible. I'm already at 4 crit items and already at 100% crit damage. For my last item, I am going to go for Guardian Angel because I don't think like Bork or any like Wit's End or anything like that is very necessary in this particular game, because it's a lot more important that I stay alive than I get any more damage. I have more than enough damage at this point. What I need is the survivability of the Guardian Angel, which is why I'm going for that. And yeah, so here again, we're back to farming. Of course, we're only 1 item away from reaching full build. Not too much is really happening here. I don't want to walk out too far because I can get caught and I'll die, so I do want to stay safe. Just, you know, in an area that I won't get caught. Anyways, Twisted Fate ults, so we spot the entire enemy team in like this like general bush area, so I'm gonna stealth here. Somehow Ari hits a blind charm onto me. She couldn't see me, so that was kind of just luck. But unfortunately, because of that, Nami pays for my sins by being the one basically caught on instead, because I do end up flashing out. Something interesting to note is that I believe that since Ari hit me when I was in stealth and I didn't actually break my stealth, I don't think they could actually have seen me. Like they seen that I got hit by the charm, but I don't believe that they could actually attack me with like auto attacks or things like that. Anyways, here, my team basically gets caught out. Twisted Fate just dies from like ulting into the backline. Darius dies and I come in too late because I don't have a front line and I get ulted by Urgot and I do end up dying. I do end up getting the kill onto Ari, but this is basically a horrendous situation. Our team just gets aced and I end up dying. Although thankfully, I give the shutdown to Urgot, who is arguably the best person in their team to give the shutdown to, because Lux is doing well. Caitlyn is super fat. We don't want to give Caitlyn shutdown. And Vi and Ari are way bigger threats than Urgot. Urgot in this game has been relatively low impact for this game, so I think that, you know, giving shutdown to Urgot's not the worst in the world. Anyways, here the enemy team is of course going for Baron, and they do end up picking it up because our whole team is dead. Only Nami is alive, but Nami can't really do much to of course get the Baron. And here I'm going to just recall. I'm not recall, but I just respawned. But I'm just gonna go for the red buff. And yeah, so here you guys can see I'm clearing the jungle really quickly now because I'm almost at full build. So obviously that does make sense. And yeah, honestly, there isn't too much to talk about here. The main thing I guess I do want to talk about is how I'm actually kind of typing in chat at this time, and I'm just telling my team to like group up, because the way we win this game is if we can group up and if we can just basically just stay together and not like die one by one. So anyways, here as I'm saying that, Samira is kind of off at the side. Here you guys can see Lux overextends. I kill her really easily because I'm like basically at almost full build here. Vi ults me, I stasis to block the ulti, and I'm just basically blasting everybody here. As you guys can see, I pick up a triple, and this actually could have been a pentakill. Like if I got this kill here, which I do not because Samira got it, I would have rotated down for the Ari to get the penta, but since I didn't get the quadra kill anyways, I just let my team pick up the Ari while I just recall and pick up my Guardian Angel. But yeah, that could have been a penta, but it was not. So anyways, here with the entire enemy team dead, no Baron is up, obviously because the enemy team just got the Baron, which they of course wasted because they all just died. I'm telling my team to push while I pick up the dragon. Like here you can see Twisted Fate and Samira is pushing mid. Nami of all people is, I was gonna say she was gonna push bot, but she turns out she was not. So they do pick up the mid tower. And here, I'm just taking the enemy team's blue buff because mine got taken by Samira for some reason. And here we do end up picking up the inhibitor. Here I'm stealthing because I do think that if the enemy team just runs straight at us, we can actually just take a fight. But I do get spotted by the Scryer's Bloom, and yeah, so here we're pushing in the bottom lane, and we're seeing if, you know, anything can be done here, but I don't really think it's a good idea because Twisted Fate and Samira are already backing, so we can't really take a fight here with two people out of the picture. So here we're just gonna back as well, and we're just gonna wait for the next play. Of course, at this point, Baron is spawning in a minute, and Elder Dragon is spawning in just over a minute at 20 minutes, of course. So both major objectives are coming up very soon. So until then, what me and my team should be doing is we all just should be playing safe, not getting caught, etc. And if possible, you know, just controlling the wave states. So here I'm trying to just push out the minions. And obviously a fight just ends up breaking out of nowhere. So here I'm just staying in the backline and just blasting whoever I can. Ari gets caught out. I use my expunge to just kill her basically. And off of this, basically only Caitlyn and Lux are left. Now, honestly, at this point, I felt that my team could have just ended the game right here. Like, look at how much damage we are doing to the base. We could have just waited for this next wave to come, which is already here. You guys can see the wave is already here, but for some reason, my whole team just leaves and goes to do Baron, which doesn't make sense, because when you can just end the game, why are you doing Baron? It doesn't make any sense. So obviously I can't end the game myself, and I mean I could if I just go for the 2v1 against Lux and Caitlyn, but those are the two most fed members of the enemy team, and I don't fancy my chances, so I'm just gonna follow my team and we're just gonna do Baron. So if we lose the game, that would have been like the game losing play, but anyways, we do secure the Baron, and because we already have the Baron, I'm just gonna head straight over to the Elder Dragon and try to secure that. But the whole enemy team has already respawned, and we have waves pushing in on both of our side lanes, which is horrendous. So here, because of Twisted Fate out, we can actually see the enemy team's progression, so we know that where they are. I know that I can kill the dragon before they come, and I do end up getting that. So now we have Baron and Elder Dragon. Our job is really simple. All we have to do, walk down one lane together as a team, kill the enemy team, win the game. It's really just that simple, but of course in solo queue it never really is that simple, because obviously the whole team is just split up everywhere. Although of course we should be clearing these waves so that we don't get backdoored. So Samira is pushing out top and Darius is pushing out bottom. Here I'm just telling my team to group up at the middle lane so that we can just fight a team fight together, kill the enemy team, and just end the game. Right, so here we obviously easily destroy this tower. Here it looks like that's the team fight that is gonna happen. So here you can see I popped my ult, and with the Elder buff I'm able to kill the Lux as well. Also able to kill the Urgot, and with the reset I'm gonna hit over, stealthing over to the mid lane, clear out the waves, let this wave push in, secure this tower, and just pretty textbook. Using the minions we can just end the game. Don't really need to kill anyone anymore, so I'm just gonna focus the base and just kill the Nexus, and we do end up winning the game. So gonna leave you guys with the stats as usual. You guys can see, you know, how hard of a carry this really was from the Twitch jungle, and you guys can see how Twitch jungle works. So thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.